Hello student, myself Nimesh Prabhakar. Welcome to Process Control lecture series. In my previous lecture, I discussed about the controller tuning. In that lecture, we discussed about the two controller tuning methods, which are that first one is the process reaction curve method and second one is ZN tuning method. That means Ziegler-Nichols tuning method. Now we start new chapter in this lecture. The name of this chapter is Advanced Control Techniques. That means chapter number 8 we start in this lecture, Advanced Control Techniques. So as name indicates, in this chapter we discuss about the advanced technique of controlling. So here in this lecture we discuss about the feedback control system, and then after we discuss about the feed-forward control system, and last we compare these two control systems, that is feedback control system and feed-forward control system. So now we start the feedback control system. So this is the block diagram of feedback control system. You know very well what is the feedback control system. Simply we have given the feedback to the input. So that system is known as the feedback control system. So the idea of the basic controller is that the output of the control process, the measure variable or the process variable is compared with the desired value or the set point. This is a simple procedure of the feedback control system. That means here we want to, here simply we compare the value of process variable, or we can say the measure variable, with the desired value or the set point. And the difference between that is known as the deviation, or we can say the error. The difference between the two is the system error, or simply we can say error, or we can say the deviation, which is also called the deviation because it is not actually erroneous or a mistake. It is a fundamental aspect of the closed loop system. So this is the procedure how we can control the system by using the feedback control system. So simple step. First we measure the difference between the desired value, or we can say set point, and the process variable, and then the error is known as the deviation, and by using the controller we try to reduce the deviation value. Now the deviation is then multiplied by a control function. The control function may be a free or the PID controller, or it may be another type of controller, or which there are maybe to choose from. That means we can use any controller, that means P controller, I controller, PID controller or PD controller to control this error. The output of the controller is then used to drive the process by feeding it to the actuating device. Sometimes it's called the final control element. That means in the sum book they mention the name as the final control element, and it can also define as the actuator. So the output of the controller is fed into the actuator device, that is final control output, and it controls the process. So this is the step. These are the steps of the feedback control system. Now we discuss about the advantages of this feedback control system. So there are many advantages of this control system. So which are that? So first one is it is stabilizing. That means it balances or regulates the measure variable. Then second one is it improves the accuracy of control. Then third one is it partially linearize any non-linear linearities in the process. Then within the limit of the system headroom or the available power in the process, it speed up the process response. Then next one is it counteract process disturbance or load on the process, such as opening over a doors, etc. Then next one advantage is it allows the operator to alert the set point, therefore the balance point of the control. The next one is with a regulator, the control loop hold the process output or measure variable or state. Within the tracking device or the servo mechanism, it accurately tracks the changing set. So these are the advantages of this feedback control system. Now we discuss about the limitation or disadvantage of this feedback control system. This is most important because if we study this disadvantage, then we can understand the importance of another control system, that is feed-forward control system. So which are the disadvantages of this feedback control system? So first one disadvantage is it waits until the event of disturbance hit the process, so it is unsatisfactory for the process with a large data. So this is the first one and most important, or we can say the disadvantage of this system. That means here this system is wait until the effect of disturbance hit the process. So it is unsatisfactory, of course unsatisfactory for the process with a large data. Then second one is it may also create instability in a closed loop response. So this is the second one disadvantage. It may create instability, that means system can be unstable. So this is the second one disadvantage of this feedback control system. Now third one is it is expensive and complex to implement. So these are the disadvantages of this feedback control system. So first one is it wait until the effect of the disturbance hit the process, so it is unsatisfactory for the process with a large dead time. Then second one is it may also create the instability in the closed loop response. And last one, it is the expensive and complex to implement. Now we discussed about the second one control system, that is the feed-forward control system. So first one we understand why we require this system, that means why we require feedback control system or feedback control. So conventional feedback, that means we discussed the feedback control loop can never achieve a perfect control. So this is the limitation of the feedback control system. That means it can never achieve a perfect control. It is difficult for the conventional loop or the feedback control system to keep the process output continuously at the desired set point value in the change of the load or the set point changes. So this is the limitation of feedback control system. It is very difficult for the feedback control system to keep the process output continuously at the desired set point value. Now This is because a feedback controller reacts only after it has detected a deviation in the value of the output from the cell. So this is the block diagram for the feedback control system and some limitations of the feedback control system, and that's why to overcome this limitation we require some control system. That means we use the feed-forward control system. That are the benefits from the feedback control system. See, this is the block diagram of feed-forward control system. After reading them, you can understand feed-forward. That means here we use control system before the process. You can see here. In the feed-forward control strategy, information concerning one or more conditions that might disturb the control variable is converted into corrective action to minimize the deviation of the control variable. The signals which have the potential to upset the process are transmitted to the controller. The controller may appropriate computation on this signal and calculate new value for the manipulated signal and send those to the final control element. So this is the procedure of the working of feed-forward control system. Here the controller make an appropriate decision or computation on this signal and calculate the new value for the manipulated signal and send those to the final control. Therefore, the control variable remains unaffected and the speed of the load change. Now we understand control system or feed-forward control system by using one example. So here we have taken the example of the heat exchanger. So how we can control the heat exchanger by using feed-forward control system, we can understand here. So here you can see this is the example of the heat exchanger. So here figure depicts the use of the feed-forward control in the heat exchanger. The objective is to keep the exit temperature. That means you can see this is a T out temperature of the liquid constant by manipulating the steam flow rate. That means by changing the steam flow rate, input steam flow rate, you can see this is the arrow. By manipulating the steam flow rate, here we control the outlet temperature. That means the T out we control by adjusting the value of the steam flow rate. That means the steam flow. So here there are the two principal disturbances that are measured for implementing the feed-forward control system. So which are that? So first one we here measure the liquid flow rate. So this is the LF, that means the liquid flow rate. Here we measure this is the F, and then the liquid inlet temperature. So you can see in this figure here we measure the value of the F and TE, that means the liquid flow rate, inlet flow rate, and we measure the value of the inlet temperature, and accordingly the value or the variation or disturbance, that means the value of the liquid flow rate change or the liquid inlet temperature is changed, then accordingly that we vary the inlet steam flow rate or controller control the steam flow rate. So the measurement this disturbance manipulate the steam flow rate. Now we discuss about the second one example to understand better. So here we have taken the example of the drum boiler. That means here we consider the one boiler system, and how we can control this drum boiler by using the feed control system. Feed forward control system. So now we understand. So here the objective is to keep the liquid level in the drum constant. That means here you can see this drum is indicated, and here our objective is to keep the water level inside this drum is constant. So the two disturbers are the steam flow from the boiler, which is detected by the varying the demand elsewhere in the plant, and the flow of the feed water. That means here the disturbance is created in the outlet steam flow rate. In the upper portion you can see this is the outlet steam flow rate. It is measured by using the FT and is given to the feed forward control. And according to that, we here control the flow of the inlet water. That means feed water flow we control by using this controller. The flow rate of the feed is also the principal manipulated variable. So this is the drum boiler control system by using the feed forward control system. Now we compare two control system, that means the feed forward control system and feedback control system. So the first one property is the design principle. So the feed forward control design principle is based on the balance or conservation principle, whereas in the feedback control system is used the feedback control theory principle. Now in the measure variable in the feedback control system, feed forward control system is the disturbance variable, and in the feedback control system the measure variable is the control. Now control system configuration in the feed forward control system is open loop, and in the feedback control system the control system configuration is closed, and the action is anticipatory action in the feed forward control system, and in the feedback control system is the compensatory action. And the typical controller we can in the feedback control system, feed forward control system is the mathematical relationship we use, and in the feedback control system we use the on-off controller, P controller, PI controller or PID controller we can use. So this is the comparison between the feed forward control system and feedback control system. So this is the two main important control system that we discussed in this lecture. That is, in this lecture we discussed first one is the feedback control system, and then after we discuss about the feed forward control system. Okay? Thank you.